Hi, my name is Crystal Davis. I'm the Director of Family Ministries at First Presbyterian Church in Tequesta. We serve a seasonal church with a membership of about 300 members. We have one worship service Sunday morning, and historically the makeup of our church has been primarily an elderly congregation. However, with changing demographics over the past several years, bringing in younger families to the area, we have seen a growth in children and youth ministries. Our Sunday school ranges in age from 3 years old to 5th grade, and on an average we have about 20 children in Sunday school on a Sunday morning. Our youth group is primarily composed of middle school students, whereas we are experiencing a trend in the declining involvement of high school students due to work, travel, sports, and school commitments. With these factors in mind, I chose the following workshops at the KidMin Conference to tailor the needs of our ministry program, and perhaps your church is experiencing some of the same things. Regardless of your church size, research has shown that we all experience the same celebrations and struggles in children and youth ministry. So I feel that these topics I will discuss today are relevant to any size congregation. The workshops I attended were Creating a Kid-Friendly Church, led by Dick Gruber, and also Double Your Volunteers, led by Christian Vandenheuvel. Before I begin, I think it's important to remember that God does not call the equipped, He equips the called. We are in a constant state of learning. We all make mistakes in our ministry, but it is the sharing and attention to experiences and knowledge that gives us the tools to move forward and provide sustainable ministry practices. When we begin with the end in mind, in other words, when we have clear set goals to achieve from the start, the task of bringing young people to Christ is a manageable and rewarding one. Creating a kid-friendly church. Some of the discussion topics during this workshop seemed obvious solutions to attract young families. However, when we stop and look at our current practices, it is easy to overlook the obvious. Some things that were brought out were, first, impressions are so important. And it begins with the 4 P's. Number 1, property. 2, people. 3, presence. And number 4 is the practical. Regarding property, your church grounds, the building. Is there trash in your room? Do you have adequate signs and parking for attending families? The people, are your children's ministry volunteers friendly? Are they fun, excited? Are they godly people? Do you have a variety of people? Are they relaxed and welcoming? Presence. Do you have spiritual happenings, prayer, and order? Is Christ alive in your church? Is He present there? Practical matters. Do you have a nicely decorated room with name tags and greeters? Is your space secure? Do you follow up with people and establish connections? All of these things are important, but they are only the catalyst for forward motion. In your evangelism efforts, do you pray for these families? Do you remember that kids and families are people and not projects? Do you go to where they are? And again, do you follow up? One idea to create a kid-friendly church is by creating a once-a-month family worship. This is something that I took home and implemented. In fact, it was already coming together, so this was an easy task. Last year, our church wanted to establish a casual meeting for the, quote, younger generation to come together in a relaxed environment. With the ever-present debate of contemporary versus traditional worship, basically this was a way for us to test the waters, if you will. What started as a fancy name, Our Generation, has grown into a devoted small group that has the following structure. Once a month, we get together on a Saturday evening. We call it the Saturday Fellowship. We have a potluck dinner. We collect a small donation for the main course, and everyone brings side dishes. We use an online scheduling system for churches called the Meal Train. This allows us to see what everyone is doing or bringing without a constant stream of emails or phone calls. After dinner, the children go into the sanctuary and participate in a program called Bible Black Belts. Essentially, the sanctuary becomes their dojo, and high-energy games, songs, and activities are used to teach Bible lessons. And this stemmed from multiple parents coming to me and expressing that their children were bored in church. They had to sit still, just be quiet, and coming into the sanctuary was not a place that they wanted to be. During the Bible Black Belts, they earned karate-style belts for participating in the session. The parents take turns leading the sessions. Meanwhile, the adults stay behind and have a very casual discussion about real topics. We chose to study 1 Corinthians, and we use a basic study guide. Other suggestions during this workshop were using a worship bulletin with parent notes, a place to expand upon the message given each week. Creating a space that is approachable, where families feel welcome, is important. Having an area in the sanctuary for parents with young children, adequate, comfortable seating, and toys for toddlers makes families feel like they are not intruding or interrupting the worship, rather they are a welcome entity. Creating positive greetings and interaction times is also important. This is another aspect I took home and incorporated into our Sunday mornings. We have a family welcome table right outside the narthex for people to gather information and have a conversation as they come into worship. Generally, there is someone there to have a conversation with newcomers about where Sunday school classes are, a booklet that provides information and pictures about who our Sunday school teachers are, not only on Sunday morning, but a little bit more about them throughout the week. We provide children's worship bulletins and crayons to keep the children occupied during the first part of the worship service. This highlights the Bible lesson for the Sunday school topic that week, which provides parents a glimpse of what is being taught and prepares the children for the lesson ahead of time. Other items discussed were simple to implement, things like providing a clean, well-organized space as the children come into Sunday school or worship. Let them have a space that was prepared especially for them. If the floors are dirty, don't place blame, just vacuum or sweep. The family who approaches a Sunday school classroom and finds a disorderly mess will more than likely hit the door running. The close of the workshop focused on these action points. LET, L-E-T. L stands for leave it better than you found it. E, evaluate your current condition, keeping in mind the first impression, the forward motion, and in the end, the final result. And T, this is an ongoing process. You will make mistakes. You will have families that will come and go. Don't give up.